Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
Pull. A person, apart with 4 horses tied to his extremities, so as to execute him. In the old days, people were drawn and quartered for certain crimes. 1 of 4 equal parts. 1/4 of a pound. The rear part of a ship. Provide housing for military personnel. A district of a city having some distinguishing character. 1/4 part of a year, 3 months. Unemployment fell during the last quarter. An unspecified person. He dropped a word in the right quarter. 1/4 of a hundredweight, 25 pounds. 1/4 of a hundredweight, 28 pounds. A United States or Canadian coin worth 1/4 of a dollar. He fed 4 quarters into the slot machine. A unit of time equal to 15 minutes or 1/4 of an hour. It's 1/4 till 4. Clemency or mercy shown to a defeated opponent. He surrendered but asked for quarter. Divide by 4. Divide into quarters. Divide into quarters. Quarter an apple. Football, professional basketball, one of 4 divisions into which some games are divided. Both teams scored in the first quarter. 1 of 4 periods into which the school year is divided. The fall quarter ends at Christmas. 1 of the 4 major division of the compass. The wind is coming from that quarter. Piece of leather that comprises the part of a shoe or boot covering the heel and joining the vamp. Thread on or as if on a string. Poker in which a player can discard cards and receive substitutes from the dealer. He played only draw and stud. Remove the entrails of. Draw a chicken. Suck in or take air. Draw a deep breath. Pull. A person, apart with 4 horses tied to his extremities, so as to execute him. In the old days, people were drawn and quartered for certain crimes. Give a description of. Anything, straws or pebbles, etc. Taken or chosen at random. The luck of the draw. Finish a game with an equal number of points, goals, etc. Make a mark or lines on a surface. Draw a line. Get or derive. Pass over, across, or through. An entertainer who attracts large audiences. He was the biggest drawing card they had. Direct toward itself or oneself by means of some psychological power or physical attributes. A golf shot that curves to the left for a right-handed golfer. Bring, take, or pull out of a container or from under a cover. Draw a weapon. Earn or achieve a base by being walked by the pitcher. Make, formulate, or derive in the mind. I draw a line here. The finish of a contest in which the score is tied and the winner is undecided. The game ended in a draw. Take in, also metaphorically. Stretch back a bowstring, on an archer's bow. The archers were drawing their bows. The act of drawing or hauling something. American football. The quarterback moves back as if to pass and then hands the ball to the fullback who is running toward the line of scrimmage. Choose at random. Draw a card. Remove a commodity from a supply source. Cause to move in a certain direction by exerting a force upon, either physically or in an abstract sense. Cause to move by pulling. Draw a wagon. Take liquid out of a container or well. A gully that is shallower than a ravine. Allow a draft. This chimney draws very well. A playing card or cards dealt or taken from the pack. He got a pair of kings in the draw. Bring or lead someone to a certain action or condition. She was drawn to despair. Cause to flow. Cause to localize at one point. Contract. Elicit responses, such as objections, criticism, applause, etc. Engage in drawing. He spent the day drawing in the garden. Flatten, stretch, or mold metal or glass, by rolling or by pulling it through a die or by stretching. Draw steel. Move or go steadily or gradually. Move or pull so as to cover or uncover something. Draw the shades. Reduce the diameter of a wire or metal rod by pulling it through a die. Draw wire. Represent by making a drawing of, as with a pencil, chalk, etc. on a surface. Require a specified depth for floating. This boat draws 70 inches. Select or take in from a given group or region. The participants in the experiment were drawn from a representative population. Steep. Pass through a strainer. Draw pulp from the fruit. Write a legal document or paper. The deed was drawn in the lawyer's office. Pull. A person, apart with 4 horses tied to his extremities, so as to execute him. In the 4th place. Fourthly, you must pay the rent on the 1st of the month. Coming next after the 3rd and just before the 5th in position or time or degree or magnitude. 1 of 4 equal parts. Following the 3rd position, number 4 in a countable series. The musical interval between one note and another 4 notes away from it. 1 of 4 equal parts. 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 The rear part of a ship. Obscene terms for feces. The rear part of a ship. Slang terms for inside information. A stupid, foolish person. Of a stern or strict bearing or demeanor, forbidding in aspect. A stern face. Severe and unremitting in making demands. A stern disciplinarian. The rear part of a ship. United States concert violinist, born in Russia in 1920. Severely simple. Not to be placated or appeased or moved by entreaty. The stern demands of parenthood. The fleshy part of the human body that you sit on. A spy employed to follow someone and report their movements. The rear part of a ship. Go after with the intent to catch. Any projection that resembles the tail of an animal. The fleshy part of the human body that you sit on. The rear part of an aircraft. Remove or shorten the tail of an animal. The time of the last part of something. The tail of the storm. Remove the stalk of fruits or berries. The posterior part of the body of a vertebrate, especially when elongated and extending beyond the trunk or main part of the body. Usually plural, the reverse side of a coin that does not bear the representation of a person's head. A job in an organization. A short personal letter. Provide housing for military personnel. Lodging for military personnel, especially in a private home. A city on the Zhejiang Delta in southern China, the capital of Guangdong Province and a major deep-water port. Provide housing for military personnel. A small administrative division of a country. Divide into cantons of a country. Mark for deletion, rub off, or erase. Kill these lines in the president's speech. End or extinguish by forceful means. Thwart the passage of. Kill emotion. Drink down entirely. She killed a bottle of brandy that night. The act of terminating a life. Be fatal. Cigarettes kill. Be the source of great pain for. These new shoes are killing me. Cause the death of, without intention. She was killed in the collision of 3 cars. Cause to cease operating. Kill the engine. Cause to die. Put to death, usually intentionally or knowingly. This man killed several people when he tried to rob a bank. Deprive of life. AIDS has killed thousands in Africa. Destroy a vitally essential quality of or in. Eating artichokes kills the taste of all other foods. Hit with great force. He killed the ball. Hit with so much force as to make a return impossible, in racket games. She killed the ball. Overwhelm with hilarity, pleasure, or admiration. The comedian was so funny, he was killing me. The body of an animal, or bodies of animals, killed by a person or another animal. The destruction of an enemy plane or ship or tank or missile. The pilot reported 2 kills during the mission. Tire out completely. The daily stress of her work is killing her. The quotient of 2 integers. The quotient of 2 integers. A support that you can lean against while sitting. The back of the dental chair was adjustable. Give support or one's approval to. I can't back this plan. Establish as valid or genuine. Can you back up your claims? The side that goes last or is not normally seen. He wrote the date on the back of the photograph. The protective covering on the front, back, and spine of a book. The series of vertebrae forming the axis of the skeleton and protecting the spinal cord. The fall broke his back. The posterior part of a human, or animal, body from the neck to the end of the spine. His back was nicely tanned. In or to or toward a pastime. Set the clocks back an hour. Place a bet on. Which horse are you backing? Be behind. Approve of. I backed Kennedy in 1960. Located at or near the back of an animal. Back, or hind, legs. The part of something that is furthest from the normal viewer. He stood at the back of the stage. At or to or toward the back or rear. He moved back. American football. The position of a player on a football team who is stationed behind the line of scrimmage. Be in back of. My garage backs their yard. Cause to travel backward. Back the car into the parking spot. Football. A person who plays in the backfield. Of an earlier date. Back issues of the magazine. Related to or located at the back. The backyard. Shift to a counterclockwise direction. The wind backed. Strengthen by providing with a back or backing. Support financial backing for. Back this enterprise. The part of a garment that covers the back of your body. They pinned a "kick me" sign on his back. Travel backward. Back into the driveway. Located in or toward the back or rear. The chair's rear legs. Rise up. The side of an object that is opposite its front. His room was toward the rear of the hotel. Cause to rise up. The side that goes last or is not normally seen. Construct, build, or erect. The fleshy part of the human body that you sit on. Stand up on the hind legs of quadrupeds. The horse reared in terror. The part of something that is furthest from the normal viewer. It was hidden in the rear of the store. Look after a child until it is an adult. The back of a military formation or procession. Infantrymen were in the rear. Provide housing for. A small, rustic house used as a temporary shelter. Put, fix, force, or implant. Lodge a bullet in the table. Any of various Native American dwellings. File a formal charge against. A hotel providing overnight lodging for travelers. A formal association of people with similar interests. English physicist who studied electromagnetic radiation and was a pioneer of radiotelegraphy, 1851 to 1940. Be a lodger. Stay temporarily. Small house at the entrance to the grounds of a country mansion, usually occupied by a gatekeeper or gardener. Provide housing for. Be agreeable or acceptable to. Have room for. Hold without crowding. This hotel can accommodate 250 guests. Make one thing compatible with another. The scientists had to accommodate the new results with the existing theories. Provide a service or favor for someone. Make fit for, or change to suit a new purpose. Provide with something desired or needed. Can you accommodate me with a rental car? A district of a town or city. An amount of time. A time period of 30 years. An amount of time. A time period of 30 years. the monthly discharge of blood from the uterus of non-pregnant women from puberty to menopause. A unit of geological time during which a system of rocks formed. Ganoid fishes swarmed during the earlier geological periods. A punctuation mark, placed at the end of a declarative sentence to indicate a full stop or after abbreviations. In England they call a period a stop. Ice hockey, one of 3 divisions into which play is divided in hockey games. The end or completion of something. Death put a period to his endeavors. The interval taken to complete one cycle of a regularly repeating phenomenon. An amount of time. Hastened the period of time of his recovery. A human being. There was too much for one person to do. A grammatical category used in the classification of pronouns, possessive determiners, and verb forms according to whether they indicate the speaker, the addressee, or a third party. Stop talking about yourself in the third person. A human body, usually including the clothing. A weapon was hidden on his person. A human being. The immaterial part of a person, the actuating cause of an individual life. Deep feeling or emotion. A human being. A secular form of gospel that was a major black musical genre in the 1960s and 1970s. Soul was politically significant during the civil rights movement. The human embodiment of something. The soul of honor. A human being. Causing or capable of causing death. Mortal combat. A human being. Involving loss of divine grace or spiritual death. Subject to death. Mortal beings. Unrelenting and deadly. Mortal enemy.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.